Aside from the world kind of imploding as of late, are things good by you?
Yeah. I think I have a lot of time with the family, and I have a 6-month-old kid, so things are good, man. How about you?
Non-stop here. I'm not sure if you can hear the construction noise in the background here, but there's kind of no rules in this town right now, this beach town. There's fireworks and there's construction, and who knows what's going to happen at any time.
Where are you at?
Long Beach, New York. It's a beach town on Long Island near JFK Airport. I'm sure you had to fly in there once or twice in your day.
Yeah, probably so.
Exactly. So bringing the focus on you here right now. A lot of people, if they were a Super Bowl champion or a Pro Bowler, their whole life, it would say their name, and that's what they did. But in your case, you have all the activism. You have the Orangetheory franchises. I think you have a stake in over 50 of them. So the question I want to know first and foremost, before you got into football, were there entrepreneurial instincts or did that come later?
Well, I think that before I got into football, I think I was always a curious young kid, and I always played all kinds of different sports and dibble-dabbled in all sorts of things.
Yeah.
But I think that football didn't ever really just define me as who I am. I started playing football kind of late. I started playing when I was 14.
Oh,
But I always defined myself as an athlete, but I think there's a lot more components. You know, my parents, I'm Irish and Nigerian, so my parents instilled that in me, of course. I love being an American as well, but I knew one day I was going to be a father, and education was always important to me. I'm from Santa Cruz, California, so the environment and, you know, equal rights and people are important. So there's a lot of different components that make up who I am. So I'd say I'm not defined by my trials and tribulations and my accolades. I'm also not defined by by the sports that I played.
a lot of people seem to, in their first season or two, go, wow, all the success, what am I going to do? And then you find that other people just outright came into football with a game plan of, well, if I save 80% of my salary this year and 80%, I'm set for life. Did you know outright that it was a long-term hustle, not about being a kind of a show-off?
I would say no, not outright. I didn't, because, you know, you kind of learn financial literacy as you go. My first salary was like 250,000. You go ahead and take 40% of that away.
Sure.
You know, let's just say 50%. So the numbers are easy. You know, I had just over $100,000 to my name after my first season, and I had some debt to go with that. So I kind of had to learn the hard way, and I picked myself up by my bootstraps, and then I made 100 grand more the next year, and then 100 grand more the next year. So I really wasn't bringing home that much money. I didn't have much choice but to save it. But I could see how things would be a lot more complicated if you came into a lot more money. The saying is true: more money, more problems. You're thinking a lot of different things when you have a lot of money. When you don't have money, you're thinking about saving your money. So I had to learn the hard way. But also, I was afforded a 10-year career in the NFL. But prior to that, I had 3 years of playing abroad in the CFL and playing in NFL Europe. So I knew that you could be here one day and be gone the next day. So every day was like a blessing to me. And I was fighting for my job every single day for my 10 years in the NFL.
Well, I appreciate that frankness. A lot of people would never name a number or anything like that. But when in the journey did Orange Theory come along?
Yeah, so as I was getting near the end of my NFL career, I would say around 2009, 2010, I enrolled into George Washington University to get my master's in business. Then I just didn't know when my NFL career was going to end. It ended in the 2012 season. So
Right.
MBA takes about 2 years. It took me about 3 years to get it done, just because I was playing football at the same time. And I knew things were coming to an end. I was approaching 36 years old, you know, that 2012 season. So I knew things were coming to an end, and I was going to have to transition to whatever was next. And so I had my education, and your MBA is really just a discovery in who you are and what you like in terms of business, and, you know, what your goals are and what fills your cup, and how are you going to use filling your cup to make money. So it feels like you're not working just like the NFL, even though it's hard work. You're playing, you're loving your NFL job for the most part. Most of us do. But, you know, what could I do that was going to make me feel the same way that the NFL made me feel, and also make money? And that's what my MBA provided me over the course of those 3 years of education.
Was it an online-based MBA program?
It was mostly in person. So I would like go to practice, and then I would go to class, and then in the off season we'd have modules all over, from UCLA to man, what was Columbia University and then George Washington University. So we spent a lot of time in those different campuses, and it was fun. I really enjoyed it. It was actually through the NFL, and a lot of NFL players and their wives and other athletes. It was an executive program designed for like young professionals, and just the bulk of us happened to be NFL athletes, but we came from all different, from Olympians to golf and professional gamblers and whatnot. So it was a good cohort of students.
I was going to ask something that you kind of answered already. I'm sure you know the band Guns N' Roses because, hey, Welcome to the Jungle's played in every damn NFL game ever for the last 20 years.
Right.
But the bassist of Guns N' Roses had all that success and then realized he couldn't read his royalty statements or his accounting statements. And just a couple of years fresh out of huge Guns N' Roses success, late 90s, decided to go get an MBA, or at least his business degree, at University of Washington in Seattle. And he's sitting in class and people are like, is that the guy from Guns N' Roses? Yeah. In your case, it sounded like it was a pretty diverse class, so you didn't have to worry about being, the NFL guy.
Yeah, well, actually, at first I went to University of Baltimore and Towson combined for an MBA program. So that's when I was going to night classes after school, and people were like, yeah, that's the guy that plays for the Ravens. And then I'd make sure I sit in the front row so I wouldn't fall asleep in class. And of course, the professors would always be asking me questions, and inevitably we'd be talking about football. But I did that program for about a year, and then I transferred to George Washington. But it was cool. The professors always made class fun and made it interesting. And if we won, everything would be nice and cheery. And if we lost, then they wouldn't ask me any questions. So they could read the room for sure.
Right. Okay. Glad to hear that much. And it's really refreshing to hear your story that, as I said in the beginning, you're not a football player. You did that. You've also found success in other areas. Are there even other areas that you're still hoping to conquer one day?
Yeah, I mean, I'm 43 years old now. I plan on being here for maybe another 80 years. So maybe I'm going to be here till I'm 123, 130, who knows? So there's a lot to do. But yeah, there's a lot more I want to do. Something that I'm kind of working on right now is I'm in the health and fitness space and field with Orangetheory Fitness as it is. But, our memberships, they cost anywhere from, $99 or $89 a month, all the way up to upwards of $189 a month. Not everybody can afford that. So at some point I want to give back and to disenfranchised groups, so socioeconomic levels that can't afford that. So not any particular race or anything attached to that, but more so people that can't afford it. And I want to do a nonprofit where I can deliver personal training, dietary coaching, and just health and fitness guidance in general. With diabetes, if you can change your body composition, type 2 diabetes, if you can change your body composition by 5%, then you can get off medications and in essence not be a diabetic anymore. So, I mean, that's just some basic education that people don't know. And of course, America is one of the leading countries in diabetes, and it happens to be in the more prone in the ethnic communities as well. So I think I can give a lot back in the health and fitness realm to help people's lives.
And not to name a competitor per se, although you can do more than one fitness thing at the same time. I know that the NFL Retired Players Association has kind of a partnership with DDP Yoga or DDPY. Is that another organization that you guys work with or one day hope to?
I'm not familiar with DDPY, so maybe you can educate me on that, and then I can pivot from there.
DDPY is and was a yoga-esque program started by the wrestler Diamond Dallas Page, DDP.
Okay. And
they kind of struck a deal with the Retired Players Association. I can edit this out if you don't want to talk about it.
No. I think the last deal that I had heard that the NFL Players Association had, was with the YMCA. So players would get free memberships to the YMCA, but things are always changing. We just did a new CBA, so things are changing all the time. Prior to that, it was like Bally's Fitness had a deal with the NFL Players Association and NFL players. So things are always changing. It's pretty fluid. So as of right now, I don't know of anything new, but I do know that I did hit up Don Davis and I hit up the NFLPA like, hey, let's do something with Orangetheory Fitness. It's programming. It's friendly. Everybody can do it, whether you're young, you're old, you have injuries and whatnot. It's a great program. We wear heart rate monitors so we can really see what the players are doing. We can incentivize them to actually do the workouts. And we never came, you would think like naturally, like we're going through what we're going through now in our society, like support Black businesses, like support NFL businesses, NFLPA, NFL, support NFL businesses that are good, obviously that are good businesses that are going to make good business sense. So we never came up with anything, but I wish we would have.
Got it. So all that said, Orangetheory, for somebody who hasn't yet tried it, is there a way that you can describe it? I say that because if I were to say CrossFit, people have this cult-like mentality. Oh, you just bring yourself and it's a group team exercise kind of thing. For the average person, they might know that Orangetheory is very welcoming to outsiders, but how would you describe it?
Yeah, well, it's technology track. So what does that mean? You wear a heart rate monitor. We get all kinds of insights onto, you know, what your speeds are, what your VO2 max is. That's your ability to intake oxygen. It's science backed. So we have a medical advisory board, and we have fitness professionals that spend 1,000 hours a month putting the program together. So it's very, very well thought after program, and it's for all fitness levels. It's inclusive fitness, and then it's coach inspired. The coaches are amazing. So all you have to do is show up, and then we're going to make sure we get the most out of you, whether you're having a good day or a bad day. So that's kind of just on a high level. But once you get in there, you know, what's in the studio? There's treadmills. We have power walkers, joggers, and runners. There's water rowers, which are zero impact training, but it's a combination of cardio based and resistance training. And then we have the floor, where it's all resistance training based. We have TRX, weights, BOSU, med balls.
Wow.
We have all kinds of stuff. And then you get your own station. So when you go in there, we have the program. You just got to show up, and we'll find a way to inspire you, get you motivated, and get you flowing and going and have an amazing workout. And we never do the same workout twice. So there's a lot of things going on. So there is a learning curve once you get in there, but it's unlike any other fitness regimen that I've ever done. Even at a professional level, there's never been anything that's been this inclusive or this well thought out that I've been a part of. And that's why I love the company so much. And the energy is just off the chain. Like, everybody's in there and they're excited, and people are sweating together and having fun. So I'm excited to get back to that as quickly as we can.
That alone would be enough for a lot of people. You also mentioned being a family man. I'm sure you have to speak at the occasional NFL related function or appearance and all that. Are there any other partnerships that you have? And it's totally cool if you don't.
Me or as Orangetheory?
You personally. I'm interested in the man that I'm speaking.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's a company that I work with, and I'm a LP. So I'm a limited investor with this company, and it's called Next Play Capital. And through Next Play Capital, we make a lot of different investments. So there's a lot of things like you'll see around me that I'm invested in. So you can't see, like, I'm in my theater, but I have like a little gym in here. There's a tonal, so I'm invested in that company. There's a company called Path Water that I'm drinking this water right here that Orangetheory partnered with, that I'm, you know, a limited partner in that company. And so there's a lot of different companies that I'm partially an owner in, that I have a vested interest in. And so of course I'm always trying to support and promote those companies. A lot of them are technology based.
Right. You are, I think, what they call an angel investor, which I've dabbled in myself.
Yeah, a little safer than angel, but yeah, I mean, it's a little further down the line than angel. Like, these companies are actually for the most part, have revenue and income coming in, and they're tested and proven. But is it going to be the next biggest company? We don't know, but we hope so.
So all that said, since you're juggling so much, are you a calendar or to-do list kind of person when you wake up every day?
Yeah, so I am. And the funny thing is I take the combination of the two. So I don't use a calendar and I don't use a to-do list. I just take my notes and I write my dates and times and things I have to get done. Of course, things populate into my calendar as well. You know, like when we had this call scheduled, the link populated into my calendar, but I also copied and pasted it and put it into my to-do list calendar, because it's linear. I can just look down it and just track it instead of having to go through, you know, day by day and clicking on the day. So that's the way I prefer to handle my business. But I check it every night. I'll just look at my calendar, my to-do list the night before.
Yeah, I like to ask that of successful people such as yourself, because some people go, nah, all the chips fall into place. I have a good team working with me. I delegate everything. And then other people go, nope, I do myself. Nobody's going to do my stuff better than me. And it sounds like you are doing it all yourself, or most of it yourself.
Yeah, I mean, everybody that's successful has some help along the way, even to keep you on your track and on your path. My wife's very helpful, and, you know, we have a 6-month-old kid and 2 other kids that they're at the house and doing Zoom classes. And, you know, sometimes there's not a computer available. We don't have 7 computers in the house. There's 7 people in the house. So there's some scheduling and some other things that I need assistance with, or Larry, our publicist, helps, organize and get us media opportunities as well. So there's a team around me. I'm pretty, I'm willing to do anything and everything I need to do. Like, I wouldn't expect my staff around me to do something unless I was going to do it as well, or at some point or some juncture I've done it. Now, a lot of those things I can delegate, or the team it operates and they get done on their own. So my job's a lot easier than it was, say, 4 or 5 years ago. But I enjoy that I've been able to, that I can at least say in my profession that I'm in now, that I've done everything from A to Z in the company, and even cleaning toilets when I have to.
Sure. Well, 2 quick questions, and then you are a free man. And the first one is, and I know you have that 6-month-old, but what was the last concert that you went to before COVID hit?
Oh man, let's think about that. Last concert before COVID. Man, I was at the Preakness. It was about a year ago. And at the Preakness, there was an after party. There was a whole concert at the Preakness, but at the after party, Big Boy was performing from Outkast.
Oh yeah.
Kind of just forget all the hits that they had. And so he was just going through hit after hit, like I'm Sorry, Miss Jackson and Bombs Over Baghdad and all these songs. So that was really fun. And that was the last one that I can remember. But it was really intimate and personal. It was actually at a restaurant. So like they're 5 feet away from you and the music is banging and everybody's there having a good time and food's being delivered and you're eating and dancing and singing and drinking. So yeah, Outkast. Well, I guess it was Big Boy though, not Andre wasn't there.
Andre 3000, good enough for me. Like the way you move it and all that kind of stuff. Well, the closer, any last words for the kids?
Last words for the kids. Man, I think that there's these 3 P's that I have, and sometimes there's a 4th P. And this is what I just try to impress mostly on young men, that are transitioning out of the NFL, or even if you're transitioning out of college and you've been an athlete your whole life and you're trying to figure out who you are and what you are. So the first P is purpose. You have to find purpose in something that you're doing, something that fills your cup, that you're passionate about. If you can figure out something that gives you purpose, then you have to figure out a problem and attach a problem to that same cause. If you can attach a purpose and a problem, then you're going to be passionate because you're fixing something and you have purpose and you're fixing a problem. If you can fix a problem that you're passionate about and you have purpose, then you can generate profit. So that's the way I kind of go. If it checks those 4 boxes, and that's maybe something you should do. One time I opened up a yogurt shop. I was just looking for the profit. I didn't care too much about yogurt. Yes, it was organic yogurt. It was a boutique yogurt shop, but I didn't care about selling $5 organic yogurts. I wasn't too passionate about it. So eventually that business was able to break even, and that was the best I could do. Couldn't make money off of it. I was wasting a lot of time. Didn't fill my cup. Didn't feel good about it. So I just had to leave that business. But now I have all 4 P's in Orangetheory. I'm helping people's lives. I'm getting people healthy. I'm making money. I wake up passionate every single day, just like I was in the NFL. And I have a lot of purpose. So the 4 P's is what I like to impress upon people.
Wow. Put those 4 P's into a book if you don't already have plans to do that, because you really have something right there. I'm sure you know that.
I mean, it works. It's kind of my go-to, but I've been kind of talking about the 4 P's for the last year now. And anytime I have a chance to talk about it, and even when I'm speaking to kids at junior colleges or universities, obviously I expand upon it a lot more and I build my story into it. But yeah, it's something I'm proud about for sure.
Geez, you've been more than generous with your time here. Looking forward to getting this posted within the next few days. But thank you so much for your time. And really, you're doing such great stuff, Brendon. Keep it up.
Yeah, next time I want to get on that Miss Pac-Man back there.
Hey, you come to Long Beach, New York. The beach passes are on us. Miss Pac-Man's on us. You name it. But thank you for your time, man. Have a great rest of the day.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Paltrocast.